Well, folks, we're going to be doing a video which I love that I could finally do this video. You know, there's been cameras out for a long time. Remember when cameras first came out, you only could video record for like 10 minutes and then 15 minutes, and then now with the invention of the GoPro, you could do videos a lot longer than 10 minutes. So I can record a video and I could teach you on everything you need to know to ride a motorcycle in one video. Before I wasn't able to do that. The video battery power would die down and you'd come up with all types of issues. So here's what we're going to be covering in this video, and then I'm going to get on the motorcycle and then we're going to go through this in first person mode. So it should be really good. Now, the motorcycle of choice today is the same motorcycle the doctor drives. You guys ever watch number 46, The Doctor? Look it up on YouTube. He is epic. So we're going to be riding the R1. Not as souped up as his, you know, but the R1 really is a street legal racing bike. So if you can ride this bike, you could ride any motorcycle out there. So let's get started. We're going to talk about counter steering, how to shift, how to brake, how to avoid accidents, how to go into corners. We're going to show you actual freeway riding, and if you've never ridden a motorcycle, it's pretty intimidating the first time, and we'll talk about that, how you get used to it and whatnot. So if I can talk to you about some things that confused me when I first was interested in riding, was how the heck do you shift? So let's talk about that, and let's look for some props out here. This stick will do. Let's break this stick here. So here's how you, where's the camera at? Here's how you shift, okay? So over here, this right here is the shift lever. Hopefully you can see that, okay? Your foot's gonna go here under, let's say that's your toe, the tip here. It's gonna go under the shift lever and you're gonna kick up to shift up gears, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're gonna then move your foot on top and kick down, just a slight tap, we'll call it tapping down, when you're shifting downward, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, for sake of discussion, it's important to know that you don't shift the same on a motorcycle as you do on a car. On a motorcycle, you have first gear, then you have, you know, traditionally, I know some bikes are different, but most Japanese bikes are like this. First gear, neutral, where's the camera at? Make sure, oh yeah, first gear, neutral, then you have second. So let's talk about first, neutral, second, neutral, first, neutral, second, like that. If you're in first, you want to go up to neutral, you're going to slightly tap here with your toe, just a slight tap. You'll feel it. You can't really explain it. When you get on the bike, you'll know what I'm talking about. And you won't feel any metal, you'll just feel the metal of the toe here as you shift the gear shift lever. A slight tap up, it's not going to hit metal, it'll feel kind of mushy like, and you're in neutral, and then the neutral light will go on. We'll show you that. But if you're going on the bike slow speed, we're going to show you that, and you tap up from first, just all the way, just move your foot all the way up on this gear shift lever down here, the gear shift lever, you're going to feel metal and you'll be in second. And so let's get on the bike and show you some stuff. Now, first thing I want to show you, if I could show you this, is the helmet. This helmet has all types of vents, just totally all types of vents in the helmet. Try to get yourself a helmet with all types of vents in it, okay? Because otherwise you are going to hate life if you ride in the heat. So let's talk about this. When you're shifting, here's the clutch lever here that you're going to pull in right here, the clutch lever. And then what you're going to do is, let's go through it. You're driving, you're going to release throttle, that's the first step. Pull the clutch lever in, then kick into the gear you want down here below. Then only then, and only then once you're in gear, you're going to release the clutch lever. You got that? So it's always, you're always releasing the throttle in between shifts. But let's, you know, the best way to do it is just to show you. So let's get this camera situated here. We're going to tilt it up just a little bit because I'm going to be leaning forward. Let's see if that's right. Yeah, and now let's tighten it. Let's go through some of the gauges, you know, and what the levers do. This is the throttle here on the right, and then you have some brake fluid over here, the brake fluid level. If you look up here, you have the tachometer here. The speedometer will be on the left. This is a great device. It's a RAM mount for your cell phone, so you can, be on the cell phone looking at the GPS and whatnot. And you see this right here. This here is a handlebar stabilizer, so at fast speeds you won't get the steering wheel, or I should say handlebar wobble. Then you have the turn signals here. This right here on the left is just a handlebar, and then we talked about the clutch lever, and these are the brights. So what you want to do is you want to go to a place like this. Okay, let's make sure. Yeah, make sure you can see everything. Make sure you go to like a giant Walmart or something like that and practice what we're about to show you. Then we're going to go on the freeway. So right here, this lever here, this red button, we're going to press that, and that adds battery power that connects all the wires where the voltage can go through it. Now you're going to turn the key, because if you didn't do that, you wouldn't have any battery power. And let's move this here. So we're going to press this button here with my thumb. This is the starter right here. And when we press it, the motorcycle will come to life. So there we go. We've come to life. We have the temperature gauge there. It's 201 Fahrenheit. This bike uses the highest octane you can get out here in California, which is 91. We don't have the luxury of 93 or even 92. Always put the kickstand up, and then here's what you're going to do. What you're going to do is, you see this neutral light here? Watch this. You're going to pull the clutch lever in on the left, hold it, kick down. Now look, I can push the bike with my right foot, and even though the neutral light's out, that means we're in gear, but because I have the clutch lever in, the gear's not engaged yet. So what you're going to do, have both of your feet down on the ground, make sure there's no cars, and practice this. Release the clutch lever and then pull it back in. Do that a zillion times. Release the clutch lever. As soon as the bike starts to move, pull it back in. Don't release the clutch lever all the way. Then after you've done that a few times, release the clutch lever, and as soon as it starts catching, they call that the friction zone, give it a little bit of throttle on the right, just a little bit, let the clutch lever out more. Now you're going, right? So this is why you want a giant parking lot. Just pretend that this parking lot's like, empty. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this amateur new stuff, but now I'm going to show you how to stop. So we're in gear, and what you're going to be doing when you want to stop, so you don't have to put it in first again, you're going to be in first, pull the clutch lever in, watch this, clutch lever in, we're coasting, slowly I'm applying the rear brake only, and then my foot comes down. So you could stop with the rear brake only if you're going slow. Release the clutch lever again, give it a little bit of throttle, kind of practice. Don't jam on the front brake or you'll crash, okay? Don't jam it on while you're going around corners. Now let's talk about that. Do not put the front brake on while you're going around a corner. Let's say I'm going around a corner right now and I put the front brake on, the bike's going to stop and all the weight's going to shift to one side. So rule number one of motorcycle safety, always keep the handlebars straight. So watch this, we're going to pull the clutch lever in, watch, keep the handlebars straight. Now we're going to do the front brake and the rear brake. Your left foot, you want to get in the habit of your left foot going down. If you start to get off balance, just put either foot down, but practice that. So let's do one more braking here, and then we're going to get into shifting and whatnot. Maybe two more braking so I don't crash into this lady. Now this is a bike, because it's like a street legal racing bike, so to speak. It wants to be run. It doesn't like sitting, because these bikes run high on the temp. So let's give it what it wants. So watch this. We're gonna go up to second this time, okay? So watch. First gear, here's how you do it. First gear, give it throttle, release throttle, clutch lever in, kick up to second, release clutch lever. Now we're in second. Now watch this. Remember, first neutral, second neutral, first. A slight tap down, look at it. A slight tap down from second, we're in neutral. I don't know if you could see that. So now let's just talk about shifting and go out on the freeway, okay? So what we're going to do is clutch lever in, kick down, slowly give it throttle. We're in first, okay? Now I'm going to go into second. Watch this. So this is why you want a real big parking lot or a long street. Listen to it as it starts to wind out. Clutch lever in, kick up to second, and then immediately slight tap down to second, you're in neutral. See how you could actually coast? You pick up speed. Do not put it in first if you're going at a fast speed. Now this is a slower speed, so watch this. I'm going to put it in first, and now we're in first. See that? Okay, so now let us go out on the freeway. Let's go back here. Let's do one more little second gear and then neutral. So watch this. First, release clutch lever, kick up to second, all the way, release clutch lever, we're in second. Now watch. Clutch lever slightly, all the way in, I should say, slight tap down from second, we're in neutral, and now we've stopped. Now, a lot of you are going to say, how do you memorize all these things? It seems like all this shifting, it is a lot of shifting, but it's not tiresome because you basically are using your foot and just, you know, your hand. It's not that difficult. So now we're getting on the freeway. So freeway, when you're new to it, stay in the slower lane, and then we're going to take you on the twisties, okay? So watch this. Visor down, because it's going to get windy. Clutch in, we're in first. Slowly let the clutch out while giving it throttle. I continue to give it throttle, just a little throttle. By the way, I strongly recommend, by the way, we're in second too. Look for a channel called Moto Madness, M-O-T-O, and then the word madness. On YouTube, it's excellent. You can see a lot of motorcycle crashes, and we can learn from a lot of our fellow motorcycle riders' mistakes. So remember what gear you're in? Second. So let's hope we get the light here. Good. So watch this. Starting to brake, slight tap down from second. We're neutral. Starting to brake. You see how I don't even have to hold the clutch because we're in neutral. Can you see that there? Another thing I want you to notice, we're at 217 Fahrenheit. Watch is 221 now. And this bike does have a fan that kicks on, which should be on now. But it's like over 100 in California. So watch as the temperature goes down as we speed up. So what have you learned so far? Always keep the motorcycle handlebars straight or you will crash when you come to a stop. Never, ever put the front brake on when you're going around a corner. The back brake does very little to stop you, but it works in conjunction with the front brake a little better. Okay, here we go. First gear. Now watch. Listen to it. You really listen to it. I'm not even looking down. You just listen to it. Here it's starting to wind a little. Release throttle, clutch lever in second. Now watch how I take these corners on the freeway. See, I'm on the outside, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut on the inside here. It makes it a lot easier to go into the corner. So now watch. Release throttle, clutch lever in. Freeway's easy. There's nothing you got to do. You just enjoy the ride. So not much to teach you on freeway, except when you're new. When you're new, stay in this lane. You know, always make sure like you have a escape. Okay, so now we're gonna be getting off the freeway. I want to show you how you get off. You don't want to be braking while you're going around the corner, okay? This is not a car where you just ride the brake around the corner. You want to do all your braking before the corner. And as you get really good at it, you're not even going to brake. You'll start to judge the corner. You'll start to slow down. Now watch what we're doing here. We're slowing down without braking. And the truck's going kind of slow, so like I'll downshift. Corner's to the right, so I'm going to stay to the left. Watch what we do here. I'm now turning into it. I haven't braked, is that a word? I haven't put the brakes on yet. I'm even downshifting. And now we're going to show you some high-speed twists. This is where people usually crash. Now I'm downshifting as we're getting to a stop here. Now I'm in neutral. Keep the handlebars straight. Notice, what is this guy doing? Okay, he's going. I think he's being a nice guy, let me over, but let's see. Maybe not. All right, so we're in second, and there's no way he's going to be going through the hills that I'm going through, so we're okay. So this is good that he's here because I want to show you something. There's a traffic light up here, so we're at about 3,000 RPMs. You're in second, right? Some bikes,
you're really going to have to shift a lot sooner than others. The lower the CC of the motorcycle, the higher you're going to want to be revving it up into the tack, okay? So notice I'm in neutral. We're basically literally moping along. So now I'm almost, going real slow, so I'll put it in first. So we're going to get around this dude, and we're going to show you how to counter steer. And before we do, let's stop and talk about counter steering a minute. Well, I guess I can do it without stopping. All counter steering is you pull back on the left handlebar, your motorcycle goes to the right. I don't want to hit this guy. You pull back on the right handlebar, and then it moves to the left. You get it? Watch. You can practice this while you're going straight. Pull back on the left, it goes to the right. Pull back on the right, it goes to the left. But you're going to do this around corners. Hey. Cool. You let me go. So this is great. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. All right. So we're in second. Now we're in neutral. Now we're in first, okay? So what we're going to do, motorcycle guy here coming up. A lot of motorcycle riders like going over here because it's a, they're two up, because it's a great street. So watch this with a lot of curves. What we're going to do here is we're coming up to a corner that's going to the left. Some corners you cannot counter steer. The bike's so heavy, you can't just, some corners you can't just lean it into the corner. The bike's so heavy, you have to force it, manipulate the weight of it into the corner, and that's why you counter steer. Some corners are so slight, you can lean them. So first, we're going to show you some counter steering corners. So watch this. We're going to attack this corner like this. Pick it up speed. Now watch that yellow line on the left. On 3, I'm going to pull back on the right handlebar. Watch. 1, 2, 3. And you hold that steady as you go through that corner. Now we have one coming up to the left. So on the count of 3, we're going to, hold on, lots of bumps. We're going to pull back on the left handlebar. Not yet. See, this is a gradual one. See how I didn't have to counter steer. But here I'm going to have to. And unfortunately these cars are going really slow. But watch. Corner's going to the right, so what are you going to do? You're going to pull back on the left handlebar. On 3. 1, 2, 3. You'll be surprised how just a little bit of effort one side to the other will cause it to do that. Now, here I'm just leaning it because we're going slow. We're only going like 47 miles per hour. I'm not braking. Notice we're just leaning it. And this guy here going up the hill is a glutton for punishment. Right here, let's see if we can lean it. So if you go to Moto Madness, MOTOMADNESS, a couple of my videos made it on Moto Madness, but they're not crash videos. But if you go to Moto Madness, you'll see motorcycle riders going around corners, and you're like, how could they not make the corner? They just like crash off into the ditch. Well, what happens is they do not know how to counter steer in most instances. They're trying to lean it around the corner. And that's fine, with corners like this. You see how we're just leaning it? But other corners that you're going to see coming up, that is not fine. You're going to need to counter steer and manipulate the weight of the motorcycle to where you don't crash. So now, how do you come to a stop? We're going like in the 50s, right? So how do you come to a stop? I like to say it's like a plane coming down for a landing. You're slowly stopping. You're not like jamming the brakes on. You're just coming to a smooth stop. You want it nice and smooth. So watch how we do it here. I usually start downshifting first. First I take, my hand off the throttle. Then I downshift. And then the last part is braking. So watch. Hand off the throttle. I haven't downshifted yet because we're so far away from the stop sign. And I don't know if you can see, but we're going downhill. So I'm downshifting now. Notice I'm not hitting the brake, front brake, still downshifting. Now I'm downshifting and a combination slightly squeezing the front brake down to second. Now I'm in neutral. Okay, let's let this guy go here. And you know what I was saying about the truck? I was wrong. He's right behind me. Okay, so I want to show this to you, how I hit this corner. So what we're going to do here, we're going to pick up throttle and we're going to be counter steering to the right. You ready? So watch this. Second, how do we shift? Remember, watch. Step 1, release throttle. Step 2, pull the clutch in. Step 3, kick up to, third gear and then release the clutch lever. You want to always release the throttle. So watch this counter steering. Not yet. Pick up speed here. It's a beautiful road. There we go. Doing some counter steering there. Pulling back on the left handlebar on 2. 1, 2. Now we're going to upshift. We're going to pull back on the handlebar on the right on 2. 1, 2. Okay, so now coming up to a stop sign again. And check this out. Downshifting. Downshifting. Notice we haven't put the brake on yet. Downshifting. And now we're slowly putting the brake on. Downshifting, we're in neutral. Now what we're going to do now is do a loopy. And we're going to do a U-turn and we're going to go back at a more advanced pace, okay? So remember, don't put your front brake on when you're going around corners. That's a recipe for disaster. I'm trying to find a place to turn around here. Here we go. So what we're going to do here is we're totally going to turn around without stopping here. First gear. All right, cool. So we're going to let these cars go here. Hopefully another one turns left here, so we'll have the pole position. Oh, let's see here. Let's see if this truck's going left. I hope so, because I'm trying to clear out some... he's going that way. Let's see. Go ahead. All right, now it'll go. Okay. So we have 55 mile per hour speed limit. That's a good speed. So let's attack these corners. We're going to take it at a little more advanced pace. I wanted that truck to get some distance. So check it out. Right here you could lean. Coming up to that counter steering place. Where is it? Here we go. So watch, we're going to go to the left, 50 miles per hour. We're going to hold that handlebar, pulling it back on the right. Let's hope this dude sees me. Good. Yeah, when you get a helmet, get one with a lot of vents, because it's... this guy's going that way. Well, let's pass him, shall we? Because we are allowed to pass, so we're going to show you some good throttle here. Watch this. First gear. Second gear. Figures, the motorcycle guys come after it. Third gear. See, we're already in the 50s in third gear. Some bikes, you know, you're really going to have to wind it out to get up in those higher speeds in that gear. Upshifting again. Good, the truck's going at a good clip. I thought it was going to be moping along, so watch how we go through this counter steering here. Okay, here we go. Watch this. We're going to pull back on the right on 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's how you do it. And our temp's down to 190. See, the bike wants to be ridden. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to get on the freeway. We're going to show you how to get on the freeway fast. We're going to get on a freeway on-ramp. We're going to get on it fast. And can't pass this dude just yet. If you are thinking of getting a motorcycle, you haven't got one yet, you're going to get a lot of advice, most of it wrong. And it always strikes me at the wrong advice that people get on what type of motorcycle to get. How would they know what type of motorcycle you should get? Because the type of motorcycle you should get should match where you're riding it. So for example, if you're going to be going on little, like these little streets right here, little twisties, and where you don't really pick up a lot of speed like on the freeway, do you want a real heavy bike or a little light bike? A little light one, like a little 250 Ninja 300, that'll do just fine, because you're not going to be going at any breakneck speed. You're going to want something, you know, with agility and maneuverability, and you don't need something with a lot of power, because you're not going to be using that power anyways. But let's say you're like me and you drive long distances, and it's a combination of roads like this and like freeways and things like that. You're going to want maybe a sport bike, but you know, with some power, at least a 600. If you get on the freeway and you have a 300 or a 250, you can do freeway riding. What is this guy doing? Just coming to a stop. You could do freeway riding, but you're going to feel safer with something with some power. Trust me. I've ridden 250s on the freeway, 300s, and I feel safer on the 1000 on a liter bike than I do on a 300. So when people say, "But you're safer on this other bike," well, it depends where you're going to ride it. If you're a new rider and you know you're going to be going in the twisties, and okay, a Ninja 250 or a 300. If you're going to be going long distance on the freeways with those little Ninja 300 tires and the little Ninja 250 or Yamaha R3 tires, really, no. You're going to need something that's built for long distance real world riding. You're going to need, I would not go on the freeway unless I had a 600, you know, or higher. Now, at least in California, maybe if you guys are, you know, in New York down there, how you doing? And, you know, you don't get to go like over 40 or 50 because it's all trafficy, well, then I could understand. But we're going to get on the freeways, the mean evil freeways of California that I ride, and you'll see that you do need the power. And what is it, by the way? If you go to Moto Madness, MOTOMADNESS, look for that on YouTube. If you go to Moto Madness, have you noticed the UK motorcycle riders? They've got, I feel sorry for them. They're very uptight. By the way, we're getting on the freeway. Watch how we go outside, inside. We're going the outside of the on-ramp, and we're going to pull it back in on the inside. But those UK motorcycle riders are very uptight. Okay, here we go. Watch. First, let's get on a little bit quicker. Now we're going to go into second. That's not the outside yet. Here it is over here. Now we're going to go on the third. And see how you got all these trucks and everything? You know, you're going to want something with some power. Now, see how I pulled back down on the inside? You really want to be on a little Ninja 250-300 with this? No. You're going to want something that does this. Watch what happens when I pull the throttle back. This is what you want. You're going to want something that has some meat on its bone. And we've got more gears to go, so God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, but what is it with the UK riders? They're so uptight. My theory is that the UK riders, they don't have, UK's like the size of California. It's very congested. They don't have a lot of real estate there. They're very uptight. Now click below here if you'd like to see other motorcycle videos where I ride other motorcycle videos and even review them. God bless you guys. Have a great week.